Along with Mike Renner, I'm Steve Palazzolo, and we're going to take an early look at the class of 2020 quarterbacks. If your team needs a quarterback, stay tuned. We're going to break it down right after this.
How's our financial plan coming?
Super! Chris, any advice?
With Western and Southern, preparing for your financial future can be easier than you think. Favorite receiver?
Huh?
To get started, visit westernsouthern.com.
All right, Mike, let's break down the quarterback class. Coming into the season, I think everybody was expecting it's Tua from Alabama, it's Justin Herbert, two different style quarterbacks vying for that number one overall spot. But Joe Burrow from LSU has thrown a wrench in everything. Heisman, NFL draft. Burrow has been fantastic. Let's break down the top of the draft, starting with Burrow.
Yeah, I mean, out of nowhere he comes, and at this point, he doesn't have to play another snap. He's going to be the number one overall pick in our eyes. He should be the number one overall pick in our eyes. 68.1 completion percentage on throws, 10 plus yards downfield.
That's not crazy.
That's not screens. That's not underneath stuff. That's downfield passing accuracy the likes of which we've just never seen. Taking care of the football as well, and 70 plus completion percentage every single game. Even his bad days this year are still elite level quarterback play. There's really no question marks in my mind at this point.
Yeah, Burrow making NFL throws left and right, cool under pressure, awesome in the big moments. He really has ticked every box you're looking for from a quarterback prospect standpoint. Now, if Tua was not battling an injury, do you think there's still a discussion at the top? I think between Tua's injury and then Justin Herbert's inconsistency, tools but inconsistent play, that's why we have Burrow ahead, but is there still a discussion at the top?
I think there still can be a discussion. Now, I would go with Burrow just because of the high-level play is something that we've never, a level of play that we've just never seen from Tua. But that doesn't mean he wouldn't get there. He's 2 years younger, a junior, and we've never seen him play bad football. We've seen Joe Burrow play bad football as recently as last year. Tua has been good every single, since he stepped on the football field as a freshman, in the national championship game against Georgia a couple years ago. He has always played efficient, sound football, great pocket presence beyond his years of a junior. Rare to see a guy that young who manipulates a pocket that well. Athleticism, accuracy, not a great arm, but yeah, I think there would be a discussion, but obviously the injury, at this point, I think it makes it pretty obvious.
Yeah, so we still need more information on Tua, his eventual recovery, but, he has been absolutely fantastic at Alabama. And then we get to Justin Herbert. This is going to be fun during draft season, Mike, because we're going to hear it. Everybody, he's got the size, he's got the arm, he's got the look. Burrow has all those things too, but Herbert has it maybe a little bit more, so I think people are going to, be drawn to him in NFL circles. But we've seen just a lot of inconsistency over the last 2 years. There are just some games that you kind of want to throw the film out for Herbert.
Oh yeah, Herbert's going to look exceptional against air. He's going to, if he goes to the Senior Bowl, if he goes to his pro day, he's going to light it up because we don't really have a lot of question marks about his arm talent. Obviously, in terms of arm strength, his deep digs, his deep outs look different from anyone else in this class, and he has the accuracy downfield as well. It's the stuff between the ears. It's the decision-making, where he's choosing to go with the football. I just question his ability to consistently read and make good decisions with the football down the field. Saw it this past week against Arizona State. Just the decisions he's making, when to give a guy a chance, just does not seem like he just processing coverages well, and it's only going to get more difficult to take those chances down the field at the NFL level. It's easy to do it in college. The vanilla coverages you see, you should be able to deduce those and when to take those chances. He's not doing that consistently. He has those stinkers like the Arizona State game. We'll see against Utah. It's a big test for him against, probably one of the most talented defenses in the country.
Huge
but
test.
Still so many games from him over the course of his career that just head-scratching.
One of my favorite breakdowns is going big-time throw to turnover-worthy throw ratio. You have a guy like Burrow is about 3-to-1. 3 big-time throws for every turnover-worthy throw. Herbert's not even 2-to-1 right now. 20 big-time throws, 13 turnover-worthy. You want to just see more dominance from a guy. He'll still go in the first round, but we have more reservations about him. I think it's a clear top tier, though, with Burrow, with Tua, with Herbert in the mix. What about that second tier of quarterbacks? You got Jake Fromm, Jacob Eason, the 2 former teammates over at Georgia, I think, heading up that group.
Yeah, Jake Fromm is a really interesting one because in terms of protecting the football, he's been very good at it over the course of his career. This year, 20 big-time throws compared to only 4 turnover-worthy plays. He just isn't putting the ball in harm's way, but at the same time, he's completing under 50% of his attempts, 10-plus yards downfield, has a fairly weak arm. I talked about the deep out for Herbert. It does not look good when it comes out of Fromm's hands. He is not going to be throwing that deep out with regularity at the NFL level. And when he's already an issue for him in college in terms of completing passes down the football field, it's only going to get exacerbated at the NFL level.
Yeah, and when you look at Eason, don't forget Fromm beat out Eason over at Georgia. They went with less toolsy, a little safer player in Fromm. Eason really impressed early in the season. He's taken a bit of a step back in recent weeks, and I think my question for him, we see a lot of NFL quarterbacks, their ability to win, in structure, but then also outside of structure, outside the pocket when things aren't going the way they're supposed to, and that's where Eason's really struggled.
His pocket presence is a big issue because they're at Washington. He has two of the better tackles in college football, in Trey Adams, in Jared Hilbers there on the right side. But when he does face pressure, on the limited times he's faced pressure, his grade's gone from 91.5 with no pressure to 37.6 with pressure. Looks like a completely different quarterback, and sometimes he brings it upon himself. Sits deep in the pocket, sees ghosts in the pocket, and if you're seeing ghosts in the college pocket, they only get tighter in the NFL. It's only going to get more difficult for you there, so that's something that he has to prove he can play under pressure, because right now, he has not proven that whatsoever. 4.4 yards per attempt when faced with pressure. That's just not going to cut it once you get to the league.
All right, rounding out the second tier, we got Jordan Love from Utah State, a guy that has, again, had his ups and downs. Not a great season for him, despite, he's got a few highlights, but maybe coming back next year?
Yeah, I was going to say, this whole second tier of Fromm, Eason, Jordan Love could return next year. All those guys could be back in college football, and with the way some of them have played down the stretch, it could make sense, but I don't think it makes sense for anyone more so than Jordan Love. One, because he could be a grad transfer, could go elsewhere to a better situation and look a lot better. Two, he has more picks than touchdowns this year. I don't see a GM taking a chance on you highly, getting roasted in the media with the statistics he's put up this season. The talent's still there. Still one of the top 10 quarterbacks nationwide in terms of big-time throws. You still see those high-level plays, but just so many turnover-worthy plays this year, pressing so much in so many games, that I do think that Jordan Love is a very, very likely candidate to return to school.
Let's just wrap it up to discuss Jalen Hurts really quickly. He goes to Oklahoma. He's tearing it up. He's putting up all those numbers like we saw from Baker Mayfield and from Kyler Murray. The thing that stands out to me, though, is we saw Baker and we saw Kyler up in that 94-plus range in the Big 12. Hurts is still grading well, but more 90, 91. It's, there's a lot of guys in the Big 12 that do grade that.
I was going to say, the biggest stat to me, the most indicative of that, the fact that his, the statistical profile that he's putting up right now is a little fake, is yes, he has the second highest completion percentage on throws, 10-plus yards down the field, but he has the 79th most big-time throws on throws.
That means they're all open.
They're all wide-open throws down the football field for him. Only 10 big-time throws, 10-plus yards down the field compared to 6 turnover-worthy plays. So even when the guys are open, his ball placement, we would still give you a big-time throw if your ball placement is perfect on those. Right. It hasn't been. That's concerning when projecting into the NFL. He's always been a guy who holds onto the ball longer, makes plays outside the pocket, but he is not Lamar Jackson-level athlete. He's not Kyler Murray-level athlete. He is, more Tyrod Taylor-level athlete, which still can help your sort of running game, still can add to that, but it's not going to be dynamic, run the ball 40, 50 times a game type athlete.
I think that's a really good comparison, actually, for Hurts. A lot of their game stylistically is similar. So there you have it. It's an early look at the class of 2020 quarterbacks. Mike's doing some great work over at PFF.com previewing the entire draft, so be sure to get there and check out all of his draft work.
You want to get rid of me and get back to more great PFF YouTube content? All you have to do is push that button right there and subscribe. Thanks for watching.